What's up, everybody? I am live in my basement studio, and what I'm going to show you in this video is we are going to talk about hoarding car parts, and I'm going to take you to the next room, maybe even a couple rooms, because that's what I have. Over the years, it happens, right? We all create kind of a hoard or a collection of sorts because we get excited. We go and we buy stuff. We get stuff given to us, which happened to me lately, a lot of stuff, thankfully. But then we end up accumulating it. We store it places, and then all of a sudden, we've got this huge accumulation of parts. So in this video, we're gonna talk about obviously hoarding parts, what that means, which parts should you keep, which parts are important, what maybe you should look for, and things as far as Mustang parts especially that you're going to want to keep in that hoard or that collection. So stay tuned. Let's watch and see a couple of things. First off, I also want to say thank you to everybody out there that's watching and everybody that will watch and has liked a video, has subscribed to the channel. This is going on exactly 3 years for me doing Foxbody FX. And I appreciate it greatly. You guys make it happen. So I want to say a huge shout out to everybody out there that watches the videos, likes, comments, subscribes, all that good stuff. So got to get that out of the way first off. And I also want to say a big shout out and thank you to National Parts Depot and to Kenny Brown Performance, my two normal sponsors that have just been there for so long, and they continue to support the channel, and the growth helps me immensely. But we're here to talk about Foxbody and Mustang and class, really all cars, really, honestly. If you're a car guy or girl, you basically, you're going to end up with hoarding parts. I promise, if you're watching this live, especially, which you might watch it after it's finished and it's not live, you are going to say, yeah, that's me. I am one of those people. So I got my son Devin right here next to me. He's monitoring the chat, so I'm sure we've got some people in here that are going to be saying some stuff, and so we'll try to answer some questions, anything like that. And I want to say that there is a video coming out tonight I'm really excited for. Speaking of rare parts and crazy parts that you guys I know like to collect and look for, I found a car recently at a show for Mustangs, specifically Foxbody Mustangs, that had one of, if not the rarest part I have ever seen on a Mustang, a Foxbody specifically. And it's in this video that's coming out tonight. It's scheduled at 8 o'clock on YouTube, so make sure you watch it. Again, it's an intake, but it's the rarest thing I've ever seen, literally. I was told there was a handful made in all of them, but this one was destroyed by Ford. So really cool thing. I've never seen one before. You got to make sure and watch that, because it kind of blew my mind, because it's something that's kind of similar to a lot of other ones, but you notice it right away that something's very different about it. So definitely check that out. But so a recent thing that happened to me that I really don't even know what to do about. I probably need your help. And what that is a guy literally, he reached out to me. He watches YouTube and he said, hey, I feel like God is telling me to give you this car and all these parts to build a Foxbody Mustang. I know I just said something that you guys are probably like, yeah, right, Lance, that's crazy. You're probably making this up. This is probably just made for YouTube. No, I'm not making it up. I'm going to show you. We're going to do the whole video on it, picking up the entire car, loading it on my trailer, bringing it out of the barn it's been sitting in for years, and all these parts. If you looked at the thumbnail on this video, literally the thumbnail and all those parts, well, not all of them, but a lot of those parts are from the recent acquisition I made, free acquisition of parts that somebody gave me. So what's up out there, everybody? What's up, Bradley? How's it going? How's it going, everybody? But these parts are brand new parts. So let's just start right there. If you're hoarding parts, it might be a good idea to keep the brand new ones, because they are probably relevant to something that you're going to fix. So I would do that. And then the other thing that I definitely keep, and I will probably not part ways with, are things that are rare, things that are hard to find. All right. So I got one example right here with me. And this is something that I would definitely not let go, that I would definitely keep. All right. So this is a great example of something that I would say, yes, hoard stuff like this. This is for an early 4i Mustang. And if you'll see, got my lights on here, but this has the Ford Motorsport right there. And this obviously is a much more desirable gauge cluster because it's a motorsport cluster for an early 4i Mustang car. It's all intact, everything's good. Obviously you'd have to wire this thing up and put it all together, but this is hard to find, right? So there's regular ones and then you have the motorsport variety. Now motorsport's very hot, we know about that in the Ford world, but a lot of other places you go, it doesn't matter if it's, you know, Chevy or Dodge or whatever, you've got your line of like normal parts and then like you've got an exclusive line. And for obviously for these, it's the motorsport line, which is a huge thing. You also have some other collectible stuff in there that would be like older Celine parts, right? There's a lot of guys that collect those out there. Probably some of you that are watching this. You've got memorabilia. You have interior, exterior, old wheels, all kind of stuff. Now, the stuff like this that I just showed you, that gauge cluster, it's small. It'll fit on a shelf. It would even look good. I keep it in my office and I like to look at it. It's cool. Those kind of things are really neat because you can look at them, you can enjoy them. Now, the stuff I'm going to take you and show you in just a second, those are basically boxes full of stuff, right? Or, you know, interior panels or whatever it might be. Those things take up a lot of space. Now, I know you guys have probably, like me, watched a lot of shows out there, and a lot of these shows, they show guys with storage containers, right? They buy like a 40 or a 53-foot storage metal container, and they've got it out in the field or in their yard behind their work, and they start filling that thing full of parts. Now, I'm not telling you not to do it, but then obviously when you get to that level, you've reached a new peak, you've reached a new height of hoarding and collecting your parts. And I know there's some friends of mine that are out there watching this going, I can't believe you're saying that. You know, and that's not a bad thing, really. I think that there is a lot of good to it and there's a lot of fun to it. And that's a lot of why we do this, because we want to have original parts. We want to have stuff that's rare, and we want to have things that we maybe don't want to have to buy again. Like it's something that once you get it, you can keep it and you know, hey, I'm going to use this on my next build. So I think there's a lot of ways to think about why we hoard parts, but most of it, honestly, I think is, if I'm just being honest with you guys, it's probably a mindset thing. And there might be something there that we're like, hey, I'm dealing with all these other things, and so I'm gonna go searching for stuff, right? It's kind of an escapist thing, and which is actually kind of what this is. It's entertainment, right? It's YouTube, it's watching stuff. All those things are definitely stuff that you know, we all do. So I will say that it's not a bad thing. So hear me out on that first off. I'm not saying get rid of all your parts and don't hoard, because I have a local friend. I have multiple friends that have big time hoarding parts and cars and all that kind of stuff. But I do have a local friend, and he has an absolute ton of parts. But I will say that he is really good about his parts hoard because he's super organized, definitely OCD. And that's a great thing when you have a huge collection, because if you can store it properly. He goes as far as like Ziploc bags, wrapping things. He has like all these dispensers with like racks. It's almost like paper towels, right? And like you pulls all the paper off, wraps the stuff up, he'll clean it, parts wash it, do all this stuff, and then he categorizes it, right? So he's got body panel parts in one section. He's got suspension parts. He's got trays and racks of original bolts and clips and pins, and then interior parts and all this stuff. And he's been into Foxbodies forever. He's probably owned, I don't even know how many hundreds of them. And so he began collecting these things. And that's really cool, because I could say, hey, Ron, you know, do you have this thing? And he'll be like, yeah, hold on one second. I stock those. And I'm like, what? What do you mean you just stock those? Like an original part, you're going to stock that? Okay. So anyways, but he does. And that's cool to me. Now, he's got a big shop and he has a lot of space and he can do that. I don't have a big shop. I have a 2-car garage. I'm thankful for it. I wish I had a bigger shop and I could, you know, do a little bit more as far as that goes. But I think we find the space. I will tell you that I have been in places, I've been in houses and, kind of inspected things a little bit, and I have seen a lot of people that they they will find places to put parts. I know some of you watching out there, I won't call out any names, but you are hoarding parts in your attic, and you might not ever even go up there except just to put parts up there and then maybe to categorize or look at them. It's kind of like baseball cards, right? I collected baseball cards as a kid. I bet some of you did. And I just put them in these boxes and divided them. And I had like certain ones, and I'd fill up a whole box, and then I'd get another box, and then I'd fill that up, and then I'd get another booklet, and then to get the plastic sleeves. That's like this, I think. I think as humans, we kind of desire that. We want some of that, and I think it's important to us while we're here to kind of do those things. And collecting is really fun. But there's a little bit of a correlation here, I think, that I want to mention with parts and with baseball cards. If you guys remember doing that or any other type of things like that, you have commons, okay? And commons sometimes are things that we collect that we probably shouldn't or we don't need to collect. It's the stuff that's kind of everyday, run of the mill. Maybe you don't need 13 of those. I don't know, But if they're not that big, it's easy. If it's hoods and you have 13 hoods and you don't have a lot of space, you might be driving your significant other a little bit crazy because you got that many hoods like in your backyard. Hey, maybe you like that. That's fine. I'm not here to judge you. I'm just talking about Foxbody and Mustang and other people, types of people, and why we hoard these parts. So back to the first original story, because I think it's important you guys understand this, that this guy had been dealing with wanting to build a car, wanting to put together a coupe, right? And the notchback that we all love. I have a beautiful blue one I've built over the last 4.5 years with the help of others and myself and my son. And, it's fun, right? We enjoy doing those kind of things. A lot of us do. But the parts that come along with it, how many of you guys have ever been out there and you went and bought a car and then it came with free parts? You're like, yes, score, right? I got free parts. Okay, cool. But do those parts stay? Do they get sold? What do you end up doing with them? Because one of the hardest things for people is to sell those parts. I don't really have that, I gotta hold on to my parts. So I am willing to sell stuff or give it away, right? I have a few parts that came already through somebody giving them to me that I have gifted them to somebody else that needed them. And that is really cool. I enjoy doing that. All right, let's stop talking for just a second. I can see a couple of people here. What's happening? Hope all is well. Real Foxbody Addicts. Thanks, man. I am doing great. Everything's great. Thank you very much, sir. Jason Quinn, we do have parts in the attic. See, I told you. There's only 15 or 20 people in the live, and there's already one of you that's admitted. It's like, what do they say? The first step is admitting it, right? So way to go with parts in the attic. Admitting that. I love it. So, parts, and more parts. Now, here's one thing about parts that I think a lot of people don't think about. I went somewhere with a friend locally to look at a Mustang to help him. And I'm like, dude, no, do not buy this Foxbody. This thing is a total piece of garbage. You don't want this car. This thing has got rust everywhere. It's all over the place. And I said, hey, thanks for having me out. And we were getting ready to go. We were in the truck. And I looked at the guy that had the Mustang for sale. And I was like, do you happen to have anything else for sale? Maybe some parts or something? And he goes, yeah, actually I do. My dad, he had some parts. He's lived right around the corner, had this storage building, and he had a bunch of parts. And they're still there. Like, he had passed away years ago. They still kept this storage building. I'm like, hey, well, let's go look at that. So we go over and we look at these parts in this, I don't even know, it's probably a 10 by 20 metal storage shed out back behind, like a little house. And basically now we're over here looking at parts. And this guy did not buy the parts. They were basically inherited parts. So now he's got to deal with somebody else's parts, i.e. his father's. And now he's like, hey, what do I do with these things? And so he says, well, what do you want out of these? Is there anything in here that you can use? I'm like, well, I'm gonna look around for Mustang parts because that's what I have currently. And, You know, maybe I had a 68 F100 at the time. If there was parts for that, I would have taken them. But this guy had some stuff that was good. So I had some tools, which is great. So sometimes you get tools out of this stuff. But then he had some motors, he had some transmissions. But the coolest thing that he had was an entire like bucket, or I think it was cat litter, actually. I think it was a cat litter bucket because I got a couple of those still. But he had a bunch of old emblems, all right? So it was like old Ford, old Mustang, old Chevrolet, Oldsmobile Cadillac, Scout. There was even maybe an Indian. It was all the old original chrome emblems that you would see on the side of a lot of vehicles or on the back or the trunk, right? And so he had all these parts and all these things in this bucket. And I'm like, what do you want for this bucket of, you know, emblems? And he's like, I don't know, make me an offer. I was like, $10. He's like, all right, sure. So then from there, I just kept buying and buying and buying. I think I ended up giving him $250 worth of, you know, my money for these parts that I said, hey, I want these parts. And I loaded up the entire F-150 bed full of parts. Now, most of them were not for Mustangs. Actually, a lot of them were Mopar parts. There was a couple of old cool magazines, old service manuals. And you know what I did with probably half of those? I sold them to people that wanted them. I was like, hey, these parts mean something to somebody out there. Maybe one of you bought them on my eBay account. And so I brought them home. I did a little bit of research. I cleaned some of them up and I put them on eBay, because eBay is one of those magical places where you might be able to find that part you need. The only way you can find it, because, you know, let's face it, Facebook groups sometimes or marketplace can be very difficult to find, especially small things. But eBay is a great location and resource, at least for me, to find those cool parts. Recently, I actually just found something I needed. I bought an 86 Celine and I needed the original radio. Somebody put in a period correct, but it wasn't the original radio. And I wanted that original Kenwood KRC 6000. And I went on YouTube, or not on YouTube, I went on eBay every day for, I don't know, maybe 5-6 days, multiple times a day. Even set their little reminders, you know, to notify you when the new parts or anything that says Celine. And then that's what happened. Boom, there it comes. And I went and bought it. And I was like, sweet, you know. Now I paid through the nose for it because the thing was still brand new in the box and the plastic never even opened. But I got one and I got exactly what I needed. So now I want to take you and show you, because it's like 3 or 4, it's areas in my basement that I normally would not go on YouTube or Instagram Live or anywhere else, but I want to show you what I got. Free parts. It's mixed in with some of my other parts that I already had, but I want to show you guys. And before that, this is my new Krispy Kreme inspired shirt. I wanted to just show you guys. This is kind of like the hot sign. If you guys have Krispy Kreme near you, 1979, 1993, Foxbody. Have the logo down the sleeve and then also small on the chest. And then I got a regular short sleeve shirt that's just got the small logo on the chest, big logo on the back. Of course, I got the gray trucker hat and the black trucker hat. So if you want some of that, just send me a message, send me an email, foxbodyfx@gmail.com, and I'll hook you up. Now, all right, now I got to go move around here and take you on a little adventure. Now you get to come in my house, which is, I don't know, maybe they say you shouldn't do that kind of stuff on YouTube, but I'm going to do it anyways. All right, so I'm in the basement. I finished office. But over here, we're going to start. This is an unfinished bathroom, and I have 2 doors. And over in the bathtub is full of original coupe glass on the front and rear and some other parts. I don't even know what's in some of these things, right? So that's crazy. Then you go in here, and I have other stuff, right? So I've got, starting over here, these 2 seats and this little bin of parts right there are not free parts. Those came out of my Dugan racing car. But all of this was all free. Now, these are boxes full of stuff. Like, there is tons of boxes back there. All right, there's all kind of stuff. In all these, there's parts. The amount of trim pieces, like metal trim, it's crazy. Like, there's so much stuff in here. And that's not even half of it. The car, the roller, is still outside on my trailer, all right, and it's full of parts, all right? Now, then, fender liners, there's 4, 5, 6 of them. Spindles, 96 through 98 spindles and 94 through 95 spindles. I think I got 3 or 4 sets. Bumpers, fenders. I got a couple of bumpers front, couple of bumpers rear, more metal trim pieces, multiple fenders. All right, then over here, more stuff. Brand new hood. One of 3 trunk lids. This one was the original one that came off of it. Another trunk lid, brand new, in the box. Down behind there, another rear coupe glass, which is like unobtainium. And then behind here, there's more stuff. Down the bottom right there, that's rocker panel moldings. Like the whole entire thing, right? So that's not even it. And I'm just literally showing you a few things that I brought in the house. The rest of the stuff's literally still out in the car, and I have to go get it, like to show you guys, all right? And I will, but not right this second. First, I'm over here on the wall. Here's another door and another door, right? It's insane. I think there's some more stuff under here, all right? Under here. My son squirreled away some more stuff under there. Weather stripping, fuel system, all kind of stuff under there. I mean, there's honestly there's too much stuff. That's literally the problem. Now, so I have to be a little bit more like my friend and categorize this stuff. Because if I don't do that, I literally don't even know what I have right now, to be honest, guys. Like, I'm not kidding. I don't know at all what I have. That's just the truth. All right, so a little tour, crazy parts, and that's literally, there's more in the garage, there's more in the car that's literally outside on the trailer, and the entire car is on the trailer on a rotisserie that was also given to me, which is crazy. John Doe, appreciate everything you do, brother. Thank you, sir. Barbecue 50, it is a lot. It's a lot. And behind it, like where I first took you guys, that's where the most of the parts are. And I don't even know what's all in there. The guy was opening boxes and trying to go through it and look at it and tell me stuff. And it was just so much, like so quick. I was overwhelmed, like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do with all this stuff? It took me 2 loads. I had to go over, get the car and the truck on the car on the rotisserie, loaded full of parts on the trailer. Then the back of my Raptor and the back seat all full. And then I had to go back and then fill up the bed and the back seat, Beverly Hillbilly style, strap stuff down, just stuff everywhere. So all that to say that now, yeah, I have some work to do. So if somebody ever tries to give you a bunch of parts, make sure you're ready to work on getting them organized, I guess. So now that I even know what I have, I feel like I'm a parts house or something like that. So can't have too many Foxbody parts. Well, I don't disagree. Especially older cars. Like, that's what's different, right? These cars that there are multiple parts that I just showed you that literally National Parts Depot doesn't have them. Other parts companies don't have them because they're not being reproduced or repopped, as we call it. They're not being done. So I would say that, yeah, you're right. You want to have a lot of those parts. But when does it become a problem? I'll tell you when it becomes a problem. If you start wandering around in your backyard, okay, and you have an oxygen tank you're carrying and the thing in your nose, and there's film crews with you, and they're putting you on a show called Hoarders, that's when it got out of control. I was thinking about this video and I looked that up, and there was this guy, I watched it for like 3 minutes, and they're rambling around out in his backyard, and he's like, hey, what about this thing? And he says, this is for my Dodge truck. This is for the back seat. It's one of the levers that makes it fold down. I'm going to restore that and use it. And the guy's like, he's pretty old and he's in bad shape. He's like walking around with oxygen, right? Just outside. And so that's not a good place to be. So maybe check yourself if you're at that level. Other than that, you're probably good. Yeah, you're probably good. And if you have too much cool stuff, you can send me an email. I'll be glad to take some of it off your hands. You have good luck with DC rear rear notch quarter windows, ? Car lights. You have to refinance the house. Yeah, exactly. And so, look, he gave me 3 sets. Some are 2 sets, I think, are quarters for a coupe, and 1 set's for a hatch. All original, no repops, and different aero and 4i. So those boxes are like moving boxes inside, and those are listed. Those are for the different ones. So the car is an aero car, but he also he had bought a parts car. And so he gave me a lot of the parts from the parts car also. So now I'm honestly bringing home almost an entire car minus the engine and transmission. So now I'm looking for that. And then a parts car to go with it, which is insane, right? Like it's a lot. So yes, I have lots of categorizing to do. And I'm looking over at my son going, yeah, you're going to be helping me with that. John Doe, I have an 87 GT, picked up an 88 LX for extra parts. Hard to find the 80s era stuff. Yes, see? So, you know, you have been working on this, right? You've been buying these things, trying to get these things, and all of a sudden, let's just say, for instance, that somebody gave you all that stuff all at once, like literally. It's really cool. I'm very thankful for it. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm very thankful. It's such a blessing to have somebody that thinks of me that way and wants to give me that stuff and reached out to me literally because they watch my videos. I'm like super thankful. But it's also like, I had another friend come over and he's like, dude, this is a lot of work. And I was like, yeah, it's a lot of work. But my son is almost 15. My daughter is almost 13. And I think they are going to want, especially my son is like really getting into this kind of stuff. He's going to want to do stuff, right? And the only way to learn this stuff is to do it, especially with a car that's more raw, more rough, more roller style, because as you've seen, like my blue coupe, there's nothing else hardly I can do to that car. I mean, we finished the interior and matched the trunk and everything was one of the last steps before pits this last year. And yeah, I mean, you can only do stuff to a car so much, I feel like. And then you're like, where do I go from here, right? Don't know. John Doe got a couple engines, my man. Ooh. Maybe we'll have to trade something. Why don't you let me, hey, what kind of engines you got? How about that? Bum, 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 bum. We can see your wife didn't beat you up, no black eyes yet. She didn't. She's very supportive. I'm super thankful for that. She actually, I think, was taking a nap when Devin and I loaded most of the parts in, or maybe she was gone to the store or something. And I was like, let's get a lot of this stuff in the basement before she gets out here, because it was quite a lot. So I was like, all right, let's run all this stuff around. So we loaded it all and like kind of made it organized a little bit and take up a little extra space. I moved some stuff around for the thumbnail picture just to make it look like it was even more parts. It's still a ton of parts, but you know, gotta make it look like a little bit more. It's good for YouTube. It is a lot if you don't have room for it. You got a full basement. LOL. Yes, definitely a full basement, and I am in agreement with that. It is a lot. Stock block 302s. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what we're gonna do with it yet, but maybe send me an email. That would be great. Not sure where you're at either, but yeah, obviously, you know, if my son's gonna drive it, I don't want it to be anything fast, so probably not gonna coyote swap it. So something like that, more stockish style, it would be great. And yeah, they are getting a little bit hard to come by. I just sold, I shouldn't have sold it, but I like selling stuff. Like so many of you guys probably watching this are like, I just like to buy stuff. Well, I like to buy stuff too, but I also like to sell stuff. It's fun. So I sold a buddy of mine a block that now I could use, but oh well, it is what it is. Do you have any 5-lug wheels for a Fox for sale? Not really. I've got a brand new set for my coupe that is actually, the offset's a little bit wrong. Long story behind that, but I will probably keep those and just get another set that's like them. I got a brand new set of pony wheels and tires, but they are on my Dugan car, so I don't really want to let those go either. But if I run across them, I will post it on my Instagram story most likely. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, do that, or Facebook. But Instagram is where I post that kind of stuff. If I find something it's, let's say, like that I'm gonna sell or get rid of, I'll post it there. Do you know anyone that makes a full rear quarter for the LX trunk? I can only find lower quarter skins, and then in the GT line, they offer it, especially new. I'll have to put some research and thought into that. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I would obviously check National Parts Depot because they have a ton of that kind of stuff for something that could be repopped. But I'll have to do some research. Maybe I can find that out for you. What's your screen name? You. For you. You. Yes, you. I have a 68 Mexican 302 block. Okay, dude. Now, I like that. So, in the Dugan car that I have, it has a 351 Mexican block, and not many people have the Mexican block stuff. I think it's super interesting. It's a higher nickel content, and that's why it was originally sourced by Tom Dugan. So pretty cool that you have one too for your 68 or a 68 block that you're building into a 347 for an SN95. Okay, sweet. Absolutely, Mike, in Ohio, or AKA you. Now, I will say one more time, make sure you go check out the video that comes out at 8 o'clock. You guys that are liking rare parts, if you missed this earlier, the rarest, absolute rarest. I've literally never seen one in my entire life. I've had a lot of Mustangs and I've been around a lot of Mustangs. I've never seen this part until I saw it in this car I videoed, and it's coming out at 8 o'clock on YouTube, so you'll get to see it in a little over an hour. The rarest intake, probably one of the rarest parts ever. Apparently they were all destroyed except for this one that's still on this really cool Celine style race car Foxbody that has got quite a story and a lot of cool details about that car as well, and a lot more other cool old school parts. So definitely check that out. But I will say that this hoarding parts thing is definitely something that's fun, but think of it as two things. One, what do you actually need? And two, what could you maybe help somebody else with? Because there's a lot of us out there that might need something that, just like Mike said, hey, do you know anybody that makes this thing? Well, if you're watching this video, or especially in the live, he's looking for something. And that's one of the things I love the most about the car community is most people, except for, a few, but most people out there are super nice and they're very helpful. That's one of those things that I love, because they will help, and they literally want to help you. So if you put that out there and say, hey, I'm looking for this, man, some other car guy is going to be like, I got 3 of those in the attic, bro. I'll hook you up. So definitely check them out. Jeffrey Phillips, have you done the Holley Terminator in any of your cars? Is it worth it on a minor upgraded Fox? I have it in my blue coupe, aka Bluetooth, which my daughter that's always also in the room actually named the car. It's a Bimini blue coupe, and it has houndstooth Recaro seats. So yes, I do have it, and I did not have it, and then we added it to the car. I did not wire it personally, but I have used it now, and it's been in the car for a couple years, and I used it with 2 different engine combinations. So I had a stock 302 that I boosted, and it was a little bit high on the horsepower. It was like 540, 550 to the crank, and it didn't last very long. Blew a head gasket, made a little ridge in one of the pistons. And so then I was like, hey, I'm going full dart block, built, forged everything, and I definitely wanted to make sure that this thing doesn't have that problem again. So I ran the Holley Terminator X at that point, and then I put it on my new engine as well. So I have used it a lot, and I do like it. And actually just recently, I'm glad you asked this question, I wasn't downing the system, but people always say stuff like, oh, it's self-learning and this and that. And it's not that I don't trust that kind of stuff, but like, where's the provability, I guess, in it? Maybe it's out there and I just don't know enough about it. But I always thought, like, it's not really learning that great. I was having a couple issues. I had the guy that tuned it for me send me a new file. I was doing some data logging. no idea what that was upstairs. So, but I had all this stuff done, and then we uploaded a new tune to it, and then now it's running better. It's also, it was more, not really a running issue, it was more of an idle issue and a startup issue. But that Holley Terminator X, what I do, and I probably shouldn't do this, and now I'm going to change it, is instead when I'm not driving, especially when it gets cold, I just have a habit of disconnecting a battery, right, on my cars. And for that specific system, a friend of mine that was over recently, actually the guy, his name's Michael, he just, the last video I did on his car was a Ford technician for over 20 years. And he said, hey, you know, I think some other people I know may have had that same problem when they disconnected, because the Terminator X is self-learning. So when you disconnect the battery and it sits for a long time, that might be part of the issue. So you might, instead of doing that, do something else. I was like, you know what? That's probably good. I probably do need to do that. And I think I have like a short, or not a short, but there's definitely a draw on the battery with, I think, the backup camera I tried to install. Instead of wiring it through to the backup wire, I went to like the master power wire, because like a radio guy was like, this is what you should do and it'll be better, especially with the 5-speed. I was like, okay. I listened to somebody without really researching it, and then I think that's when I created that problem for myself. So now I just have to go in and undo some of that wiring. Everything works, but I think that's what's drawing the power. So I just need to put it on a battery tender and then do it a different way. But other than that, I have liked it. It's definitely a lot cleaner, and you can do a lot of stuff. You can obviously put as many sensors and things on the car as you want to read out anything you have going on. But your original question, is it worth it on a minor upgraded Fox? Here's how I would think about it. Don't think about it as I'm going to spend X amount of thousands of dollars or whatever on this system. Think about it as you're going to get a new wire to like complete everything. And I don't know about you guys, but the last few times I've been on Facebook and I have seen people say, my car is burned down. It was always electrical issues, pretty much. So I'm not saying that couldn't happen with those, but if you have a brand new everything electrical or wiring and like harness and everything is new, it definitely would make me feel better. So I'm not saying go buy it just so you have new electrical, but somebody did a video the other day I was watching, and they were going through and checking along for a ground, and they found multiple like cuts and different things where stuff had hit, either, you know, rubbing up against something. And so they basically had to redo parts of it. And it was helpful to think about, but that is also a lot of work. So instead of just thinking, hey, should I spend my money on upgrading this because it's a Holley Terminator and might help performance or the running and driving part of it, I think that a lot of the stock stuff works fine. The stock computers do a good job, especially for a, you know, OEM plus type of build. You're not crazy horsepower or do anything huge mods. I don't know that it's necessarily worth it, but from a standpoint of safety, think of it that way. Like, I would just think, whatever you're going to do to my car, is this going to make it better, or is it going to make it safer? And safety from fire hazards is a huge thing. And if you don't have a fire extinguisher in your car, please go get one. They're easy, they're cheap. You can get the regular old school ones. I bought one of those Element ones where it's just like you pull it off. I'm thinking it looks like a road flare. And I think it doesn't have all the stuff that messes everything up. It's totally different. I should take it open and use it, but they're expensive. It's like $80 or something, I think. So I haven't, but it's literally mounted into my back seat. So I don't want you guys to have to go away with, you know, no car because of that. But anyways, Wyatt, I'm at the same point with my car. I'm just deciding if I should go Terminator X or Sniper EFI. I mean, yeah, there's some differences. It really, I guess, depends on what's your plan for it a year or 2 or 5 years from now. Are you keeping it for a long time, and what are you going to do with it later? I would just think about it in that perspective as well. Like, I know what you're doing right now. Well, I don't, but you know what you're doing with your car right now. And so, well, let's think, like, what's the plan for it in a year or 2? And then if you're wanting to make even more power or do even more upgrades later, then maybe it's a good thing to buy something that helps you to get to that next step, that you have a little bit of room to grow. So, just an idea. And we kind of went from parts, and now we're talking about just Foxbody stuff, which is okay. This is a live. You guys that aren't watching this live, I'm Lance, the Foxbody FX. I hope you're still watching. And anyways, hey, I love talking Mustangs, Foxbodies, all that kind of stuff. And it's December. It's the beginning of December. Christmas is almost here. Great time of year. But also, a lot of the events and the shows are over. I just got back from SEMA. I was there a few weeks ago. That was an amazing show. We had such a good time. So much crazy content, all the cars, stuff that happened there. I got some actually big news that I can't share yet, but I will share with you hopefully soon. Some stuff happening in the Foxbody world that I think is pretty darn cool. Oh, and one more last thing. Obviously, the video is coming out in an hour. I want you guys to go watch it. But I'm going to do a giveaway, and I'm kind of wondering what you guys think would be the best thing to do for a giveaway. I put something on my Instagram broadcast channel, and I gave 3 or 4 different things. One was a brake upgrade, and what I was thinking there was the lead brakes. Kind of talking to them about doing some stuff, and maybe they might be open to it. And then, or maybe an exhaust. There's great exhaust companies out there like MRT and Pipes and some others. And so, and then, you know, what's really good for you guys? What would you like to see in a giveaway? And potentially, obviously, you know, some suspension stuff from Kenny Brown, and of course, MPD has all the restoration parts we need. So there's a lot of things I'm thinking about, but what should we do as a giveaway for you guys for Christmas? So if you guys can put in the chat maybe what you think, hey, I'd love to know, because I've got to basically put that thing as a decision together in the next few days, get some people out there helping me out to get you guys some cool stuff. So, and then I'll come up with a creative way, something fun and cool. So make sure you follow over on Instagram at least, or Facebook. I'm going to put all the details there. I might do a post here on YouTube as well, so you'll know and you can get involved in that giveaway. So let's see. Sorry I missed you when I was on the ATL. Yeah, dude, traveling around all the time, man. I think you're down at the beach now. Wayne, he voted brakes. Yep. Okay, gotcha. Suspension or wheels would be cool. I don't have anybody for a wheel thing right now. That's not really something I don't have a hookup for that, and I'm not positive how. Yeah, suspension definitely. Kenny Brown Performance obviously makes some of the best Mustang parts out there. I've been doing it a long time, and there are a lot of the information that's tonight in the video, some old school stuff and how certain things got started, and then that it goes right into that super rare part. It's not a Kenny Brown part. I'll tell you, it is an intake, so it's very exciting because intakes, as far as parts like rare parts and excitability for me, what's the rarest and coolest? Intakes is like top 1 or 2, and wheels, right? Like you guys mentioned wheels, like those things are some of the coolest kind of rare, fun, collectible things for me. And like jewelry, you know, I see people hoarding intakes and wheels, like those are big things. Heads, camshaft, heads, cam for show. I need a 302 roller block. Okay. So I'd love to do some extra, you know, like some bigger giveaways. And I think what we'll do is probably some more regular stuff. I've done them over the years, obviously, different times, but I'd like to do more regular. Again, it's just what you're focused on and what you're doing. It obviously takes a ton of time. So those are great ideas. Thank you guys for commenting. So what I also want to ask you to real quick is a big, huge favor. I have just launched, you may have seen, you may not have seen, a brand new content channel. The channel is live, even though there's 0 content on it here on YouTube, but you can please, by all means, go ahead and subscribe to it. It's F-150FX. So we're going to be talking about Ford trucks on that because it kind of falls right into a lot of what we do. I will bet you, how about this? Everybody in the chat right now that has a Ford truck, an F-100, an F-150, 250, 350, I don't care. If you have one, give me a thumbs up in the chat right now, because I'm betting there's at least 5, maybe 10 of you that probably have Ford trucks or drive Ford trucks. So that new content channel is just started. Instagram and Facebook, it's already, those pages are out there. It's F150FX. Those are the new content streams. And then obviously here on YouTube. All right, there's one. We got one guy in here already. We know has an F-150. And I know at least 2 or 3 other people in this chat right now that have F-150s that are, maybe you're just not paying attention or hitting the thumbs up in the chat. But definitely, you guys have F-150s. So that's a big, huge new thing. The Foxbody stuff's not going anywhere, and other cool stuff that I like to throw in the mix. But just wanted to add a little bit more and do a few more things on the truck side of the deal, because I like trucks too. Looking for a used F-150. Two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. I like that. All right, so another really cool thing that's about to happen. I'm going to the Charlotte area for a work event, and I got a guy that has an amazing collection, and he's already got everything lined up, and he's gonna let me come in and do some videos that you guys are not gonna wanna miss. So I got some sweet content for you guys coming on the Foxbody scene with some amazing cars, stuff that just will blow you away. It's already blowing me away, and I've just seen pictures of these things. I'm like, just say stuff, you know, like say the names of these things, and if I did, you'd be like, huh, I can't even believe this is a possibility. Like some of the things that these people have, it's awesome. I love it. So thank you very much. You know who you are. That's going to let me come and do some video at your place. And if you have cool stuff, definitely hit me up. Send me an email, please, foxbodyfx@gmail.com, because that's where I can help kind of keep it. Sometimes it gets lost in the comments everywhere from doing too many social medias, but definitely hit me up in the email, foxbodyfx@gmail.com. I have this awesome, cool, whatever thing, and you might be interested in it. I might be. Whether it's Mustang or Ford truck related, I'd love to hear about it. Let's see. White says, looking to find the matching Calypso OBS Ford to match my Calypso 93 LX. Yeah, that'd be killer. And they're out there, you know. Just keep looking. They're definitely out there. So I will say, please do that for me. Go hit those subscribe buttons, you know, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Help me help you get more cool content on the truck scene, and then obviously the Mustang stuff. Oh, last thing, and I'm gonna go, is I just finished a video, and I'm now in the process of editing it, and it's kind of like the 80s icons, and you won't believe what I filmed. 2 cars, and yeah, I'm just really excited about it. I think you guys are gonna love it. I mean, it's just bonkers. Like, it was so much fun. And of course, right at the end, had to bust my drone up. I got a brand new DJI Mini Pro 4 drone, and hit like a little bitty tree limb. And of course, you know, fell and crashed. But I did buy the protection plan. I don't normally, but the thing was like $1,250. I'm like, gotta buy that protection plan. So touchdown, that worked out, and now I'm getting the thing fixed. I sent it back yesterday, and I hope I get it back before I get to go to this collection and do some of that stuff. So anyways, oh, and I haven't set a date yet, but I think I found a location. I've been looking for like a year and a half for somewhere around Metro Atlanta, North Georgia area to do a really cool show. All right. You guys love shows. We love events. Everybody loves them. And now that I'm doing the new content, I think I'm gonna mix them together. What do you guys think? I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna bring the Fox bodies and the Mustangs with the cool F-150s. All right. I think I'm gonna do like an event or a show like that. I found the location. It's awesome. You guys are gonna love it. And so details are to come. So stay tuned. All right. Appreciate you guys very much hanging out and watching. If you guys got any questions, fire them away in the chat. Otherwise, I'll be on here for a few more minutes, and then I'm gonna bounce out because this video is coming out at 8 o'clock tonight, and you guys are gonna want to miss it. I'm gonna go watch it. I don't even normally watch my own videos, but my son helped me with a lot of the editing on this, and so I'm gonna watch this one and make sure I'm gonna be there. And yeah, what else? Oh, you know what I didn't show you guys? I didn't show you the car. You're gonna have to wait. Sorry. That's going to be a full video because I got really good footage of obviously pulling it out of the barn and loading the truck up and all the parts and everything. And the story, I mean, the guy was willing to be mic'd up and we talked, and he's like kind of explaining why he's doing this. I think it's a really cool video, and hey, I think we're gonna have some fun with that. So, but I still don't know what I'm gonna do with it, right? I did have a friend of mine that's already, shout out to my buddy Dylan, helping him out. He's like, hey man, I'm looking for a rotisserie. I'm like, I just got one here, So I gave him a deal on that thing. So now I got to find, a place to put the thing because it's going to come off the rotisserie. Right now it's stored on my trailer, still strapped down. I got to get it off the trailer because I can't use my trailer either. So I need to use that. Absolutely, bro. You're welcome for the answers. I hope that they helped some. I appreciate it. Enjoy the live feed. Thanks, John Doe. Hey, I appreciate you guys. I do lives more on Instagram. I rarely, I think this is probably the second, maybe third, probably the second live I've ever done on YouTube. I like doing lives, but I'm just not used to them on YouTube. And so I actually have a full setup here in my basement. My basement studio office, the lights, all the stuff. I think you guys probably saw it when I stood up earlier. But a whole podcast room and everything, and multiple camera setup. So we'll be doing more lives on YouTube, and it's going to be like, I'm going all in on it. Multiple cameras with switching angles and everything. Lots of fun stuff. We're going to have a lot of notes set up. We're going to have stuff on the computer. We're going to have things that you guys are going to love to see. We're going to go through it all on a live. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So anyways, hope you guys enjoy it. And if you have ideas for cool content, feel free. Obviously, like I said, cool Mustangs, trucks, Ford trucks. If you know those, especially the trucks, I thought it would have been easier to find, but it's not been as easy. Like I need more help. I've videoed 2 already. I've got 2 more that are coming up, I think from Mississippi to Atlanta to let me film. And then another guy near me that has 2 trucks, really cool, a Lightning that's Coyote swapped, and another one that he built, an F100. So I got about 6 lined up. I've done actually, and a really cool Overland F350 thing is awesome. I'm doing that one this Sunday. So I got about 7 trucks lined up, but I'd love to just get a bunch more, and that's something that I enjoy doing, and I can do Mustangs and trucks. So yeah, that would be a lot of fun. So we'll do it. I'll keep you guys in the loop. Make sure you hit me up if you need anything. If you're looking for something or you got something, feel free. Shoot me a message. I should do a live with Foxcast Media and others. I would love to. If anybody else wants to, I love collaboration. A lot of times it's just scheduling, and when you get, I would say, doing maybe this level of content where it's something that I work on every day. Every evening I'm doing something, whether it's filming or editing or going live. And on the weekends, I'm doing content. I'm creating or I'm editing. Most of the time, the weekends I'm creating, and then the weeknights I'm editing, or I'm having my son help me edit now so he can learn some of the fun as well. So yes, I would love to, but it's just trying to get everybody's schedules and doing those things. So, appreciate you. Any more podcasts coming out? Great question. Yes, I just don't know when. One of the hardest things about the podcast is, again, it's taking the time, right? I only have so much time. I would love if this was my full time. But that takes money. You got to pay the bills. And so I still have a full-time job. But like I said, I'm trying to give it a full-time effort, and I'm trying to put a lot more of my efforts into YouTube, because I have found that you guys, especially if you're over 40, most people, they don't really listen to podcasts as much, but they watch YouTube videos a lot. So I'm getting a lot more traction with YouTube versus the podcast. It's not even in the same ballpark. I'm talking about, maybe 1,000 downloads in a week versus could be 100,000 downloads in a week. It's ridiculous. So I'm trying to focus here on one thing. And I think when you focus on something, you make it better and you do really good at it. So I definitely want to focus on YouTube and put as much energy as possible into YouTube as I can. So I'll get the best result, and you guys will really have something fun and entertaining to watch. because I know that's what I like as well, is when people really, they put everything into it, right? And that's what I like to do. I want to give you guys super high-end quality stuff, you know, good audio, good video, and just fun stories. And I got some really new stuff I think is going to be a lot of fun that I'm going to work on for 2025. So just stay tuned. I appreciate you guys a lot. This is like, again, the beginning of December. This marks 3 years on this Foxbody FX journey. I can't believe it's been 3 years. It's absolutely crazy. But hey, you know, here you go. So hope I see you guys at some of the shows in 2025. I don't even know which ones I'm going to yet, but this past year was a wild ride. I really, man, I can't believe how many shows I went to. I think I went to like 5 or 6 shows in different states outside of Georgia. That's not including any local events or shows or anything like that. So lots of fun to be had. So we're going to be doing it in 2025 as well. So, hey, appreciate you guys hanging out, chatting with me, listening to me ramble on about these crazy things we love, these cars. And if you're hoarding some parts, I hope they're good ones. If they're bad ones, maybe throw them in the junkyard. But have fun. Watch the next video. I hope you guys enjoy the one that comes out tonight at 8 o'clock. And thanks again. We'll see you soon.